Hello and welcome to our short series on the holy season of Lent. We hope these will be really helpful to you as you journey through that season, and so may God bless you and may you journey well.
I think fasting is about taking away any distractions. And so we have this funny idea about Lent that I give something up for the sake of giving up. But the question I ask myself is giving up chocolate really going to bring me closer to Christ? And that's really what I think the point of fasting is. We have some great tradition in the church, but the whole point is, how can I put the focus back on Christ? And so for myself, when I've done different things every year. It's how can I decrease so Christ can increase? So is there something in my life that's really keeping me from Christ that I can really fast from? Or is there something in my life that I really should start doing and doing consistently and building that good habit so that way Christ can come more in my life? So that way when Easter rolls around, it's not like, oh, I can eat chocolate again, but now I've developed this good habit or I've gotten rid of a bad habit that's going to sustain my life with Christ for, past Lent.
I've tried cutting out different luxuries. Like there was a year I just didn't listen to the radio in the car ever. There was a year I gave up coffee, which I don't know if that was helpful or not. But there's also, I think my favorite though has been what we've discussed together is that we've started instead giving some of our own, excess what we make money-wise and giving that to different charities. Because all of a sudden, I wasn't, before we got married, we didn't have quite as stable of a financial income. Now that we do, we have this beautiful thing where we can share that with people, especially people that need it more than we do.
When I say fasting, it's not like I'm sitting at home thinking, oh, I'm going to plan our meals for our household for the week. And we're going to have chicken or we're going to have pasta or whatever. It's fasting to me in the sense that like you show up where you go and sometimes you have to just eat what they put before you. And so that's kind of like a fasting in a sense, because the luxury of choice and personal preference, it's what's offered to you. And I think there's a part of not only just Lent, our spiritual lives, that we want to be like, oh God, I like this, but not that, and I'd prefer to have this, but leave the sauce on the side, and, a gift of a meal is put before you. I mean, you pay for the meal, but I'm just saying it's that sense of it's not what you choose, it's what you encounter. So in that way, I found that a sort of kind of fasting experience because there were often things that I just might, like in my daily life, I wouldn't really like to eat. But you're at a table, you're with a bunch of people. It's a shared meal in many cases. And it gets passed by you and you take your portion. And also because it's a shared meal, although I never saw food run out. You're not like, oh. Even though you might be hungry enough to want to take a whole lot of it, you wait to see what comes around.
I do abstain from eating meat on Friday during Lent. There's my fasting for the most part. I don't necessarily, I try not to, people give up chocolate. People give up certain things. As I get older, I find myself giving things up, but that's because I'm trying to keep the weight off. I just wanted to. There really needs to be more of a sacrifice there. So the meat, giving up of the meat on Friday, and in these busy times. On a Friday for lunch, if you go out with coworkers, when you get up to the food counter, I think that's when you say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have fish today, or I'm gonna have cheese pizza. And then I try to, Fridays in Lent, I try to keep my food intake down. The meals aren't large meals for the most part. And again, emphasize try.
I do think that fasting perhaps is more important to me at this point would be to fast from things like allowing myself my trigger temper to flare off, trying to be more patient, giving up some things that are not positive on other people. that would be a kind of fasting that would be important to me.
This Lent, I'm actually trying to take away screen time, time on technology, and slow down. Instead of our accessing information so quickly with our phones and our computers and the internet and social media, I want to slow down. I want to read the Evangelist. I want to, go back to print and moving things slowly and writing. I want to take time to write this Lent and really do some serious reflection. And I think that will help me be ready for Easter.